Whitey Bulger. So, here I am, you know, as everybody, you know, we see that movie, we see Jack Nicholson, he's based on Whitey Bulger, then we hear the story about Whitey Bulger.
Yep.
They were this gang-connected guy, Dana White from the UFC, had to leave Boston because of Whitey Bulger. I'm reading, it's like, he was your father-in-law.
Yeah.
And, okay, what was the advice he gave you about women?
Well, no, he honestly.
About his girl?
Yeah, it was a stepdaughter who I married. His girlfriend was my mother-in-law, who was a wonderful woman, beautiful woman. And actually, Dana White, he probably did him a favor, right?
Yeah, he sure did.
Get out of town and look at the career he's had. But
did you know Dana back then?
no, I didn't know who he was. But you know, Mr. Bulger sat me down. I was picking up Karen. First time I was going out with her. On a date and coming to the house and meeting her mom and meeting him. And, you know, he said, we're going to go out the door. And he said, sit down for a bit. I want to talk to you. I said, okay.
And you knew who he was, right?
Yeah, I knew who he was. I knew he was certainly a capable guy. And in Boston, capable means that you're capable of ending someone's life. And he just said, listen, I know you and Karen love each other, but if there's any time she wants to get away from you, I would suggest that you let her go. Don't try and hang on. 1, 2, always treat her like a lady, open doors for her, and don't ever lay a hand on her or else. And I said, you know, he had a pistol when he was telling me this, obviously.
It really helps with the listening, doesn't it?
Yeah. So I said, okay, I get it. And I said, actually, you know, you didn't have to pull out a gun to tell me that. You could have just told me that. And he said, well, that's the way I do business. And I got the message. Then Karen was waiting in the car. I went out the front door, and I was going to go out the door, and he said, Chris, come back here for a second. I was like, oh, what is it now? I thought he was going to pull out a machine gun. And he said, here you go, have a good night. And he passed me a stack of bills. He passed me $500, you know, cash. He said, go have a good night.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you know, he was a dangerous man. He's responsible for a lot of misery in people's lives, but that's the profession he chose. And I'm not saying every person that was a victim of his deserved it, but there were people that were involved in that life that, and there were also some innocent people, which I don't agree with. But, you know, that's the life one chooses. It's tough to turn back when you're in that position.
Did you spend all $500 on that night just to make sure? Were you nervous about that?
I saved a little.
You did save a little bit.
Saved a little for the next week at college.